Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. A big, huge, warm welcome to this, the Tuesday night, Wednesday morning broadcast of this, the Kev Baker Show, and a very special broadcast tonight indeed. Tonight I'm joined by my two great friends and co-hosts, John the Whistler Sinclair and Big Marty. How are you doing, John?
I'm fine, Kev, and I'd just like to wish you a very happy birthday, mate. It's turned midnight, so happy birthday, Kevin. Really looking forward to this show.
Thank you very much, John. That means a lot. Thank you very much for outing me on air as well. It means a lot, John. Really appreciate that. And what a big show to celebrate my birthday tonight. We have lined up the one and only Max Igan to come on the show. He's going to be joining us in just a second. But before we get there, Marty, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, thanks, guys. Great to be here as usual, and I'm looking forward to our very special guest this evening, morning, wherever you may be.
Absolutely. Now, usually in true KBS tradition, we read out the chat room at this point. But I want to thank everyone for tuning in on the internet and on FM affiliates in Oregon and over in Sydney, Australia, and in London, UK. But tonight we're going to break with that tradition, and I'm going to go straight to our guest, because this is an important topic tonight, folks. The KBS show has been covering what's been going on in Gaza in depth since it all started off. Operation Defensive Edge, they're calling it. Tonight I'm joined by Max Igan, and he is what you would call a modern-day philosopher, in my opinion. I first came across Max actually listening on Truth Frequency to Chris and Cherie Geo. So it's a bit of a synchronicity that I find myself here tonight with all you great listeners out there, able to present Max and the information that he actually has on what is going on over in Palestine right now. What's important to think about with Max, folks, is the fact that he's been there on the ground, he's lived it, he's seen what actually happens. A lot of us just tune in and try and connect to the plight of the Palestinians via social media, but this man's been there. He's sneaked through tunnels to get into that country. And you can find Max's work over at thecrowhouse.com. If you haven't checked out Max Igan before, I strongly urge you do so. And it gives me great pleasure to bring onto the show Mr. Max Igan.
Thanks for having me on, guys. Pleasure to be here. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to speak to people about this issue.
Well, Max, I just wish it was under better circumstances, but you messaged me on Skype the other day, and you were pointing out the fact that the current conflict that we're seeing over there in Gaza just now, it was based on the premise that there was 3 kidnapped students. Now, we've seen one story in the media, but it's now transpiring that something else may actually have occurred. Would you like to speak to the listeners about that?
Well, what happened? I mean, the conflict was contrived because the youths went missing in the West Bank, and then they were searching for them apparently for days and days, and then they finally found them dead, and they blamed Hamas, and this whole conflict started. But the reality of the situation is that the Israeli authorities knew that these youths were dead the very day that they disappeared, because one of them was on the phone to the authorities at the time saying, "We've been kidnapped." And they heard voices in the background that were actually speaking Hebrew, and that's who shot the youths, someone who was speaking Hebrew. So it's very debatable whether it was Arab extremists or whether it was Israeli extremists. We just don't know. There is absolutely no proof that this was carried out by Hamas. And the Israeli authorities knew this, and they withheld the information. They put a gag order on the phone recording, and they whipped up racial tension for 10 days until the whole country was screaming for them to go and attack Hamas. And then they went in and bombed Gaza. The whole thing was a setup. And they do this every time. Every excuse they can to go and bomb Gaza, they go and bomb Gaza. And actually a couple of weeks ago, I mentioned on a show or on a Facebook post or somewhere, I said to people, while the crisis in the Ukraine is unfolding and while the World Cup is playing, keep one eye on Gaza, because usually when there is a major distraction like this going on, Israel goes in and pounds the shit out of Gaza, and that's exactly what they did. And the whole thing's been contrived, and they keep moving the goalposts. They say, oh, look, it was because of these 3 U's, and now they're saying, oh, no, we're bombing Gaza because Hamas won't stop firing rockets at us. But, you know, Hamas didn't start firing rockets until you started bombing them, and now you're saying you're not going to stop bombing them until they stop defending themselves, you know. And it's got to a really bad point at the moment, because Israel actually stopped the bombardment a while ago. It actually said, okay, we'll have a ceasefire, And Hamas have refused. Hamas said, no, we don't want a ceasefire. We want a truce. We want the borders open because you've kept us in here living like dogs for 7 years now, and if we can't live in dignity, we prefer to die. That's the position that they're in at the moment. They're saying, we're not going to stop firing until you open our borders. And I can totally understand that. I mean, the situation in Palestine and Israel, you know, what we've got here, people say Israel is defending itself. The reality is that Israel was founded by a bunch of Europeans. It came into a country it didn't own, and it's been gradually stealing the rest of that country and carrying out ethnic cleansing against the locals for the last 60 years. It's been doing it while the world not only looks on, but also supplies them with all the money and weapons they need to do it. This is a war crime. This is a crime against humanity, and it's time it stopped. And I will not back down on this, and I will not say a nice word about Israel. Israel is a terrorist state. It's been stealing land for the last 60 years, and it's time the world bloody woke up and did something about this, because if we don't, the way of Palestine will be the way of the world.
Yeah, and what I also strange, Max, is you had Haaretz posting in June an article saying that the Mossad's chief actually predicted a scenario that was eerily spooky to the kidnapping of the 3 teens. He actually talks about 3 Israelis being kidnapped in the West Bank, you know, and this was 3 weeks before it actually happened.
Yeah. I mean, there's every indication that this was carried out by Israelis. Whoever did this wanted Israel to go and obliterate Palestine. So was it the Palestinians? Would they do this knowing what the response is going to be? And, you know, we hear about these rockets that the Hamas keeps blasting into Israel. These pipes, these are homemade fertilizer-powered pipes. You see Israelis holding them up in their hands. These are pipes about 6 inches around, 4 or 5 inches around, just metal pipes. And Israel responds with 500-pound bombs in residential areas. They've killed almost 200 people, maybe over 200 people now, in response to 3 youths that died in the West Bank, miles away from Gaza, and it hasn't even been proved that they were killed by Palestinians. You know, it's got to stop. This madness has got to stop. The world's got to wake up and stop supporting this rogue state.
Well, you can see, Max, I looked today at a couple of graphs, and they were saying that there was a bomb disposal expert that was looking at one of these rockets. Now, this bomb disposal expert had a shirt and trousers on.
Yeah, well, they don't blow up.
Yeah, they know, because it's fertilizer they're using. I mean, these things are nothing. They're just landing on roads. You look at the difference between one of Hamas's rockets and one of Israel's rockets. Israel's take out a house and a family or a street.
Yeah,
whereas
I mean,
Hamas rockets will make a black splodge on the road. It's absolutely ridiculous.
yeah, it is. It would take probably 200 Hamas rockets to match one small bomb from Israel. And Israel doesn't use small bombs. It uses depleted uranium. It uses white phosphorus. It uses banned chemical weapons. It uses 500-pound bombs. It uses rockets. It uses gunships, air support, navy, tanks. This is against children with rocks and stones, homemade skyrockets, and homemade bullets. They've got nothing to defend themselves with. And people complain about Hamas sending rockets to Israel. Complaining about Hamas sending rockets into Israel is like condemning a woman for scratching her rapist. That's about the comparison that we have here, and it's time the world woke up, and I will not stay quiet about this anymore. I've had friends being bombed and killed in the Gaza Strip by the terrorist state of Israel, it's a rogue nation. Benjamin Satan-yahu is probably the worst criminal in the world today, and every government in the world that is supporting this current incursion into Gaza is in the process of committing a war crime, and I've had enough. I think that people should stand up and we should get these psychopathic criminals that are stealing from us, sending our children off to die, and dismiss them. We should dismiss all of our governments because they are criminal organisations, every single one of them, and I've had it. I've really had it. I think the gloves have got to come off, you know.
What does it say about us as a civilization when we post this kind of information on social media? And some of our contacts actually take umbrage that we're clogging up their Facebook feeds. They don't get angry at the fact that they're looking at images of children being deemed as terrorists. 1.5-year-olds being blown up at the hands of these Israelis. They actually feel offended that you're bothering them with what's going on. What is wrong with people, Max?
self-absorbed sociopaths. I mean, this is what people have been programmed to be. I mean, unfortunately, you can't blame these people. Even the people in Israel, you can't blame them for what they do because they've been trained to be that way. If you look at the Israeli education system, it's a brick wall of racist programming. That's what it is. These people are taught the Bible as a history book. I mean, get that. They actually think that this is accurate history, what's written in the Bible. So I guess they think the world's 5,000 years old. I mean, you know, you try to talk to one of these people and you come up against a brick wall of racist programming. It's unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable. But you can't blame them because they've been programmed to be this way. Whereas the politicians, we can talk to these people. These people are complicit because they are knowingly promoting lies. They know what's going on here. And same with the mainstream media. CNN, NBC, all of these news services, these are all complicit in a war crime. These news services have actually been showing blown up buildings from Gaza and claiming that it's Israel and that this is damage from Hamas rockets. This is blatant misreporting. It's blatant disinformation. It's blatantly dishonest and is contributing to a war crime. There was some blonde woman on CNN or NBC doing this. She's a seasoned reporter, been there for years. She reported it. She showed a picture of Gaza and claimed it to be Israel, and she's still on there reporting. Why hasn't she been dismissed and charged with complicit to genocide? She should be. Every reporter that is misreporting this case should be charged with genocide. Every ruler that is supporting Israel should be charged with genocide. And it's time for the people of this world to stand up and make a difference. It really is, because that's the only thing that's going to make a difference. We've got to realise what's going on here. These are public trustees. These are our employees, and they're killing people in our name, and it's time we said enough is enough.
Yeah, the BBC's been very biased about this, and we've actually had some big protests here in the UK at the various BBC buildings with thousands of people turning out. And guess what? Not a mention on the mainstream media.
Of course, the mainstream media does anything but tell people the truth. That's its purpose. Its purpose is to brainwash people with propaganda and lies and disinformation. That's all they are. The mainstream media is little more than the public relations arm of the government. It doesn't report news. It doesn't do any journalism. It doesn't investigate anything. It just toes the government line.
See, what they do well, Max, is they'll tell you about the rockets coming from Gaza, and they'll show you a picture of a rocket, but it's not the actual rocket that's coming from Gaza. This thing will take out a house. But people don't know that. Do you know what I mean? They look at that rocket and they say, oh my God, man, this is terrible. These poor Israelis. But no, they don't mention one death in Palestine. No. They don't mention anything at all.
No, there hasn't been one death from Hamas rockets, and those pictures that they show are usually rocket launches from Iran and stuff like this. These are rocket tests and rocket launches from tests from Iran. And they say, oh, Iran's smuggling these rockets into Gaza. No, they're not. How the hell can Iran smuggle rockets into Gaza? There's a wall around three sides of the country, and the ocean is controlled by Israel. How the hell can Iran smuggle rockets in there? It can't. It's not possible. I've been there. You can't do it. I mean, there's so much disinformation that they're presented with this. And Israel is always presented as the good guy and the victim, and it's simply not true. Israel has been carrying out ethnic cleansing for the last 60 years, and it's been doing it with the support of all Western governments. And it's been happening because we're not paying attention. So it's time we paid attention, because people are dying because of our apathy. So it's time we paid attention.
And Max, how are your friends there, your contacts you made during your time there with Ken O'Keefe? Are they okay, sir?
Yeah, they're okay. They're okay. There has been a little girl that I know has died. There has been another guy died. My good friends, my close friends are okay. Omar, the man I talk to a lot, is okay. The translator we had while we're there, he's okay. But they don't know what's going on at the moment because Hamas is refusing to stop. I wish Hamas would stop firing rockets, because I think what Israel has done now, it has committed a blatant war crime. If Hamas stops firing rockets now, then people like myself and a lot of others will make so much noise about this that Israel will have to back down. I'm going to keep pushing until Benjamin Satan-yahu is convicted of war crimes, because he needs to be, you know. But Hamas they've got to give us a chance, you know, because this has really woken the world up. There's so many people that have seen the blatant disregard for life that Israel has demonstrated in this conflagration, and we can use this. We can use this to really make a difference. So. But I mean, these people they've had foreign activists say this before, and no one's ever done anything. Well, they haven't had me on the case, you know. I'll do something. I'll make so much noise about this. I will make this the focus of the tour that I'm about to do through Europe and everywhere. You know, we've got to bring this to attention. If we can get them to just stop firing for a little while, I want to press to have the Israeli government and every government that supports them charged with war crimes, you know. And if we can rally enough people to do it, I think we'll pull it off.
Well, Max, when they're dropping these leaflets or they're making phone calls and things, where have the people to go? Because Gaza is not an enormous place, and yet it's been bombed all over the place. Where are people meant to go to be safe? Because you can't go in the sea, because you go in the sea, they get shot as well.
Well, you can't go anywhere to be safe. That's the thing. They tell you, look, you've got to leave your home because we're going to bomb this area, and the people have got nowhere to go. They've just got to leave their home, and then they can't go back because their home is obliterated. So they just make more homeless people. And remember, these are refugees anyway. Everybody in Gaza is a refugee. The whole place is a refugee camp. It might be a city, but it's all refugees. There is 1.8 million refugees in Gaza Strip. And then they say, we're going to bomb your home, you have to leave. So where do you go? You just got to move a little bit further into Gaza Strip, pack the population a little bit tighter while Israel moves the border in a little bit closer. That's what they do. And there's nowhere to go. There's no bomb shelters in Gaza. There's nowhere at all to hide from the constant bombardment that Israel sends there. And Israel's saying, oh, we're terrified of Hamas rockets, and yet we see pictures of Israelis standing on the roof of their cars drinking beer and popcorn, watching children getting blown up in the Gaza Strip. Oh, yeah, these people are so terrified, cowering in their shelters, aren't they? That's why they're out there on top of their cars watching the show. It's absolutely sick. You've got this lawmaker in Israel calling for the extermination of mothers and their little snake children. I mean, what sort of a mentality is this? You've got Israeli kids signing bombs saying love from Israel, knowing these bombs are going to blow up Palestinian children. You know, the mere fact that a child would think to do that is because the child has been programmed to be a sociopath through the education system of Israel. This is what they do. They program people to be religious supremacist sociopaths. That's what they do. That is the only explanation for a 6 or 8 year old child signing love from Israel on a bloody bomb that's going to kill people. What sort of a moron, what sort of a sociopathic mentality trains a child to do that? Why would a child even think of doing that? It blows my mind, guys. It absolutely blows my mind that that is the mentality of this country.
Yeah, well said, Max. I mean, it's absolutely disgusting, some of the stuff that I'm reading on Twitter, people saying, you know, just bomb them all and they deserve it and, you know, this, that and the other. And it's that supremacist mentality that they're trying to program us with, you know. They want us to be soulless. And it's not right at all. But as for like things like the Hamas, I've heard on several occasions that there's members of the Mossad in there, members of the Mistravim, you know, the Arab fighters within the Mossad, and the IDF, Special Forces. And could this be provocateurs on the other side, you know, triggering this off for a bigger agenda?
Of course there is. I mean, the Palestinian people don't want this. Gaza doesn't want this. They just want to be free. They just want to live like everybody else. That's all they want. But they've got to live with some dignity. You've got to let these people have some dignity. You know, what happens? I mean, people say, oh, why won't they accept peace terms? Why won't they accept peace terms? You've got to understand, you've got a bunch of Western Europeans have come down here, they've stolen a country, and now the world is complaining that the Palestinians won't accept the scraps they throw them from the table. What is this? Why can't people live in a state of equality and dignity? You know, what gives these people the right to come and steal a country and ethnically cleanse the local inhabitants? It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And people just don't know because they're brainwashed and spoon-fed by the mainstream media, and all the mainstream media does is lie to them. CNN, you're a bunch of liars. NBC, you're a bunch of liars. Yeah, I'm calling you out. Do you want to come and charge me with slander or anything? Because you are liars. Your news services are spreading disinformation. You are complicit in war crimes. Do you hear me? Come on, come for me. Take legal action against me. Come on, I'm calling you out. Take me to court. Take me on television. Let me debate one of you psychopaths about what's actually going on here, because you're all criminal organisations, and so are the governments that you support, every one of them. English government, you're a bunch of criminals. Scottish government, bunch of criminals. Irish government, bunch of criminals. Canadian government, American government, Australian government, French, German, all of you, you're a bunch of frickin' criminals. And you need to wake up to yourselves, because the people of this country, the people of this world are going to stand up and they're going to kick you out. They're going to kick you down the toilet. We don't want you anymore. We want freedom. We want to live as normal people that care about each other. That's what we want. And the gloves are going to come off, and you people are going down.
Wow, Max, that's absolutely epic. And I mean, most of these news organisations that you mentioned there, a lot of their funding comes from the people who make the peace bombs, as Mark Ragev was saying the other day, that they were throwing at Palestine in the name of defending the Israeli people. Now, you've been to Palestine, you've dealt with these people. Could you talk about what these people are really like? Because they're painted in such a terroristic manner by the mainstream.
Look, I've never met a group of nicer people. Everywhere I went in Palestine, I was treated very, very well. Everybody wanted to talk to me. Everyone wanted to socialise with me. It was hard to walk past a shop and say hello to someone without them offering you a cup of tea and wanting to pull out a seat and sit down and talk to you out there in the street. Every single person that I met was wonderful. We actually snuck into the country illegally. Now think about this. We breached Hamas security. We snuck in through a rebel tunnel, 50 metres underground, an hour and a half, over a kilometre long, crawling through a war zone to get into this bombed-out city of Rafah. Then we went into Gaza City. We rented a unit, hung out for 10 days, and got up on the roof, started making videos and posting them on the internet. I mean, this is not the sort of thing you can get away with in most countries. We got detained by Hamas on the border, and this is Hamas. They detained us. They could have shot us as spies. They were very nice to us. They gave us tea and biscuits. They treated us very well. They interrogated us for 5 hours, trying to get us to reveal where this tunnel was that we came in because we'd breached their security. But then they figured out that we weren't going to tell them shit. We tried to convince them we didn't know where it was. We probably could have found it, but we told them, no, look, we don't know where it is, and we're not going to tell you anyway. And they ended up letting us go. And not only did they let us go, they provided a driver for us to get us back to Cairo because they was concerned about us crossing the Sinai in safety because we're just a couple of white guys. And this is Hamas. This is supposed to be a terrorist organisation that just kills people. Well, why didn't they shoot me as a spy? I stuck into their country illegally and breached their security. They had every right to imprison me, jail me, shoot me, whatever. And they didn't. They not only let me go, they provided me with a driver and got me back to Cairo safely. This is not a terrorist organisation. People need to wake up to what's going on there. The Palestinians are beautiful people. They really are beautiful, peaceful people, and they're trapped in a living hell, and all they want to do is live like normal people on the planet. That's all they want. You know, I did a little short clip called 10 Days in Gaza. Have a look at these people. I interviewed a lot of the university students and things. Have a look at them. They're normal, everyday, nice people. And the collective punishment they're being meted out from the state of Israel is completely unacceptable, whether Israel's got a problem with Hamas or not. Hamas is a few hundred people. There's 1.8 million people in Gaza Strip, hemmed in by a wall, 900,000 children, and you're dropping 400 tons of bombs on them because you have a problem with a couple of hundred guys who you accuse of kidnapping or killing some youths, and you got no proof that they even did it. This is absolutely ridiculous. It's a complete overreaction. It's a war crime, and it's time we stood up and did something about it. It really is. I mean, I'm incredibly angry over this. I am. I've had hardly any sleep in the last week, and I'm very, very emotional over this issue. But I'm so incredibly pissed off with my government and with all world governments for condoning this genocide that I'm just going to call them out from now on. I'm going to point them and look them straight in the eye and name them for what they are. They are a bunch of criminals. And we got to do something about this, guys. We really do. We've got to start making noise in our country, and we've got to start holding these criminal cabals accountable for their actions, because the people in Palestine are being brutalized because of our inaction. We have to pay attention. These are good people. You know, don't believe what you're told about all these terrorists behind the wall. It's not true. It's simply not true. It's a refugee camp, and they're not terrorists. They're defending themselves against constant aggression from Israel. While I was there for 10 days. Israel was lobbing bombs over the wall all the time. Big bombs. Not little pipes. Big bombs. There was a rocket landed, blew up an entire building. I woke up one morning to machine gun fire. There was an Israeli gunboat shooting fishermen off the shore. Palestine doesn't respond to any of this stuff. And then when it does respond, Israel cries victim and wipes out hundreds of them every single time. It just keeps provoking them until they respond so it can cry victim. But we never hear about the Israeli attacks on Gaza because Gaza doesn't have an international news service. We can't get the word out to people, and it doesn't matter. They're just terrorists. Oh, we were just bombing a terrorist compound. That's all Israel has to say. Oh, it was a terrorist. Oh, there was a terrorist hiding behind the wall. We're sorry about the hundreds of children we blew up, but there was a terrorist hiding behind the wall. It's ridiculous. That's the excuse they use for everything. It's a rogue state, and we've got to stop it in its tracks. It's got to stop what it's doing.
Yeah, I think Hamas. I think maybe because Hamas were actually democratically elected, they think that everybody in Palestine is under Hamas control. So it seems as if they've got carte blanche to get rid of anything that belongs to Hamas.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Folks, don't go anywhere. We're just about to go out to the break. Max Igan, absolutely powerful first half to the show there, folks. People will call this controversial, but I call it truth, and it's truth that needs to come out at this time. Now, don't forget to tune into my good friend Joe Joseph straight after my show, and join us after these short messages. Absolutely fantastic, Max. Well said.
Yeah, pretty hardcore. But anyway.
No, it's got to be said, Max. I appreciate you saying that.
I'm fucking angry, mate. I'm really angry. I've had it, man. I've really had
I can't understand why people aren't angry.
Yeah.
That's what gets me. I honestly, the total disconnect that people are showing through this, it's disgusting.
I want them to come and arrest me. I want them to you know. That's why I keep calling them out. Come on. Challenge me on it. Do it. Come on. I'm calling you out. I'm calling you a criminal. I'm committing slander. Come on. Get me. Come on.
That's the thing about it. They're all at. I just can't believe how much control that Israel has got over so many countries. It's incredible.
Oh, it's unbelievable, mate. It's unfucking believable, mate. If I ever meet Benjamin Satan-yahu, I'll fucking tear his head off myself and beat his entire fucking government to death with it.
Yeah, we've called him Satan-yahu too. So I think it's a really good name for him, because this man is a fucking psychopath.
Oh, he is.
He really is.
He is complete and utter psychopath. Absolutely psychopath. I'm sure if you looked up the term in the dictionary, there'd be a picture of him next to it to illustrate the term. Yeah, I tell you, I do get a little hot under the collar, and I'm a little unstable at the moment because I haven't had much sleep in the last week.
I know, mate.
So I just don't hold back at all with this issue. I'm actually going to I'm going to go and do this European tour. I'm going to come back. I'm going to finish a new film, and I hope to move to Gaza and be living in Gaza Strip by the end of 2015.
Oh, fantastic!
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to do my shows from in there. I'm going to bring the word out to the world what's going on there every day. You know, I'll do a daily show if I have to from Gaza Strip. So yeah,
I would love to go. I would love to go to Palestine. I really would. I'd love to go.
It's an incredible place. I've had this energetic connection to it for a long time, you know. And when I got there, I could feel it. It feels incredible. And there's all sorts of reasons why Israel wants it. There's the huge gas fields off the shore and all that sort of stuff as well, you know. So. But people don't understand. I think all these Palestinians, they don't understand their country's been stolen. Their country's been stolen. They've been ethnically cleansed for the last 60 years. There's millions and millions of Palestinian refugees, around 7 million of them all around the world. And the Israelis dare to say there was no Palestine. There were no Palestinians living there before we came.
Hey guys, I need to bring the host back.
Okay. Yeah.
Welcome back, folks, to the second half of tonight's powerful broadcast of the Kev Baker Show. What an energy there was in that first half of this broadcast. And I think the four of us gentlemen here share this, our passion for this subject. And I want to know if you people out there listening don't share our passion, our anger, our feeling on this. I want to know why the hell not. Look at the images that are coming out of there. There's children, there's women. Look around you, look at your families. Now imagine them just gone in the blink of an eye. And then somebody coming on television and saying it's okay because they're terrorists. That's what's happening over there, folks. These are humans just like you and me. They're not Palestinians, they're humans. Now, Max, like I was saying, I mean, you were telling us about your time over there in Palestine. There's a lot of projects going on over there. I believe you and Ken O'Keefe were actually helping to build a school at the time, were you not?
Well, we built a school room. Like there was an actual room, which is it's a historic building actually, because it's a building that the Samuni family was actually massacred in, and we turned it into a school room, and we built a bunch of school desks for the children, for the Samuni children there. The Samuni family is a family that Ken's worked with a fair bit. The Samuni family massacre is quite a well-known massacre. It happened in 2008, 2009. When Israel does a ground assault in Gaza, typically they arrive in the center of Gaza and they split north and south. And that's what they do. They like to divide the community. So they arrived on the Samuni land. This is where they usually arrive. They got all the members of the Samuni family, 97 members, the extended family. They put them all in one room, and then they shelled the room with rockets. They killed 29 family members in one go. It was the worst massacre in Cast Lead. They left them lying in the rubble for 4 days. wouldn't allow ambulances to come in, wouldn't allow any of this. They shot 2-year-old Ahmed once in the head and twice in the chest, point-blank range, let his mother carry him around for a day and a half while he died, wouldn't allow her any medical attention. It was absolutely brutal what these people do. These kids were trapped in this rubble for 4 days. They'd come out waving white flags. The Israelis would shoot at them if they came out of the building. This is the sort of stuff that goes on. Absolutely brutal treatment that the Palestinians receive at the hands of the Israelis. They treat them worse than dogs. They really do. It's an utterly racist culture. And I don't care what they tell you about how we treat them well. It's a lie. I've seen the way they treat them. They treat them like shit. So we went to that room and we built a bunch of school desks for the Samuni family because these children are so traumatized. They can't go to a normal school. They've seen all their parents blown up around them. They've seen their brothers and sisters killed day after day after day. This keeps happening. You know, their father gets killed, they finally recover. Then their mother gets killed, they finally recover. Then their brother gets killed, they don't recover. They just end up not recovering. You know what I mean? And you traumatize these children over and over again, and they end up numb. You know, so we built a schoolroom for these children so that they could learn. They want to go to school. They want to be able to socialize with other kids, and they want to learn how to read and write. But they can't function in a normal school environment. So that's what we did while we were there. It was actually one of the most difficult jobs I've ever done to build those school desks because of the lack of materials. Just trying to get hold of nails. You can't get nails in the Gaza Strip. Oh, no, you can't get nails. They may wrap them up and use them as a bomb. You know, you can't get anything. You can't get parts to fix the sewage plant. So the sewage is overflowing into the streets in Gaza City, in the lower sections of Gaza City, because Israel won't allow parts in to fix the sewage plant. Oh, no, they might use them for bombs. Anything they need. They say, oh, no, they might use it for bombs, and they don't let it in. You know, and it's got to the point now where the Palestinian people are absolutely desperate. And this is why Hamas is saying, no, we're not going to stop. We're not going to stop until you call a truce. We don't want a ceasefire. We don't want the blockade. Open our borders. Let us trade. Let us live like normal people. And Israel is saying, no, we will only allow you to live there under our conditions. And that's why they put a blockade around the place anyway, because the people in Gaza voted Hamas in, and Hamas will not kowtow to Israel. It won't allow all the checkpoints. It won't allow Israel to totally control the place. And so Israel says, oh, they're terrorists because they won't allow us to completely and utterly dominate them the way we do in the West Bank. So they're terrorists. That's the attitude. And the world buys it. The world believes it because all the Zionists that control Israel control all the major media outlets, you see. This is how it works. So we went in there. Yeah. Ken had to sort out a few things, and he was in a bit of, you know, there's a bit of difficulty. There's a bit of a hot spot there. He had to go and sort out a few things with the Samuni family. He was a bit dubious about going in there on his own. Sort of kind of needed someone to you know, go with him to make sure everything's cool. So I went in there with him. I couldn't get in there without him. So we kind of scratched each other's back to get in there. He sorted all his stuff out. We built the schoolroom, and then we got out. So it was a good thing. But I can't wait to go back. I really do want to go back and see these people because they're good people. And, you know, it blows my mind the way they're misrepresented by the media and the misinterpretations people have of these people. They've never been there. They don't know. All they've got is what the media tells them. And this is a media that has dared, on these recent reports, to be showing pictures of blown-up buildings in Gaza Strip and claiming that it's Israel, saying this is the damage from Hamas rockets in Tel Aviv. Bullshit. It's the damage from Israeli rockets in Gaza City. And this is the media that these people are believing. And they are so corrupt and they are so misinformative that they dare to show people pictures of Gaza Strip and claim it's Israel. It blows my mind. And this is who you people are all believing. You're believing all the rubbish that these liars are feeding you. And it's sick. It's absolutely sick.
I've looked at some of the photographs coming out of Gaza, and this is 2014, and we are still shooting, bombing children. But we don't see that because you'll only see that on the internet. And when I turned on the TV, there was an IDF spokesperson, a woman, who was telling the world that there was 5 million Israelis living in bunkers. That's what they were trying to get us to believe. Why do they allow these people on to even say these things? Because it's just blatant, total lies. And it's absolutely disgusting that in 2014, we are still killing children. It's really, really disgusting.
It is. It's absolutely disgusting, and you know it's all promoted by the media and it's all condoned by the media, and it is. I mean, they're always talking about how the poor Israelis are hiding in their bunkers, and yet we see photos of them standing on the roof of their cars eating popcorn, watching the bombs go off. You know, and these pipes that they send over these rockets, you don't need to hide in a bunker for these rockets. I mean, if they land on your house, they put a hole in your roof. If you happen to be sitting underneath them and they fall on your head, then yeah, they'll kill you. But only if they land on your head. That's the only time they do any damage. And you know, the response that Israel uses is absolutely over the top, you know. And yeah, it's us that's allowing it to happen. It's the people of the world that are condoning this, because the people of the world are simply believing the lies that the Zionist-controlled media is feeding them. And we've got to stop this, folks. These are children. These are children that are being blown up. They're innocent children that are being held in a situation where it's like you must kneel or die. That's it. If you're a Palestinian, you must kneel and be subservient to the terrorist state of Israel, or we're going to name you as a terrorist, and we're going to keep going until you're all dead. And that's what Israel wants. And I'm really over it. You know, we've got to make noise about this. Benjamin Netanyahu is the worst war criminal in living history. He really is. He should be in jail, and the world should be the world should be outraged at this. We really should be absolutely outraged. But the reason we're not is because people are just swallowing the rubbish that the media is feeding them.
Yeah, and I think it's really sad because so many families have been torn apart in this 66-year conflict. And some people, you know, they've lost their whole families, they've got nothing to live for, and it's just like living in one big concentration camp. So, of course, that's going to create hatred, and they might go out and throw a few stones or try to attack Israel with whatever they've got, because they've got nothing to live for and because they've been absolutely tortured. And like I say, families torn apart, and it's got to stop, because all they're doing with this operation is just creating more hatred, and you know, it's not right.
Well, that's the point, you see. That's the point. They want to create extremists. They want to create people who have just given up and who will send pipes over and who will strap bombs to themselves so they can scream victim all the time. That's what it's about, you know. You know, you get a kid and you kill his mother in front of him and he cries. You kill his father in front of him. A year later, he cries. You come back and kill his brother and sister and he cries. Come back the next year and kill his uncle. He doesn't cry anymore. Come and steal someone else the next year. He doesn't even feel it anymore. And eventually he doesn't feel anything. And all he wants to do is strap a bomb to himself and go and take out as many of these terrorists that killed his family as he can. That's the way they're training people to think, and that's what they do, and that's why they do it. You know, it's disgraceful. It really is. And people just, you know, where's the humanity in all this? We've got to stop this. We really do. And the interesting thing is that the Jews get blamed for it all. The people who founded Israel are Khazars. They're Europeans. They're Western Europeans who came down here, stole a country that they didn't own. The Jews, there were Jews living in that country before they came. They got along with the Palestinians for thousands of years. They lived in peace. They used to babysit each other's kids as recently as 1946. And now they're at each other's throats because of Zionism. Zionism isn't the problem. The Arabs don't hate the Jews. They hate the Zionists, as everybody who is sane should. You know, Zionism is a mental disease. It's a psychic pathogen. It's a disease that causes otherwise normal people to become sociopaths who believe they're better than everybody else and they have a right to steal countries and kill anybody who gets in their way. That is Zionism. It is a psychic pathogen, a mentally defective brain problem that people have. All these people should be locked up in jail and rehabilitated back to human beings, you know?
Yeah, and I think some people get confused, you know, when we talk about Zionists, they just think that you mean people who agree to the state of Israel. But I think the problem goes back even further than the creation of Zionism. There's a really big agenda of supremacism, like you were saying, and people thinking that they're better than the next group and stuff like that, and that they can basically treat them however they want, you know, and this is going on to the highest degree right now in Israel, you know.
Well, it is, and it's been going on for 60 years. That's a problem, you know. And I think this conflagration in Gaza, this current conflict, is given us the opportunity to wake up, take the blinkers off, and do something about this problem. Now, Israel's really, really overstepped the mark on this one. And I said a few years ago that Israel will eventually implode due to its own actions. It's revealing itself to the world. People are realizing that this is not a Jewish state. This is a Zionist state. And people hate the Jews because of what Israel does, but it isn't Jews doing it. These are usurpers. These are Khazars. The Jews get the blame for what they do, and then they hide behind the mask of anti-Semitism. If you ever try to criticize Zionism, they say, "Oh, you're a Jew hater." You know, these people hate Jews more than anybody else does. I mean, you look at what happened in World War II, all the Zionists and the Khazars that did all the damage in World War II. I mean, if you really look at the Holocaust and all that stuff, do people know that there was 100,000 Jewish soldiers in Hitler's army? There were 10 Jewish generals and 1 Jewish field marshal. Do people know this? If Hitler was trying to wipe out Jews, why did he employ 100,000 of them? And I would suggest that it's these 100,000 Khazar Jews within Hitler's army that carried out all of the atrocities against the Semitic Jews in Germany so that they could manufacture the Holocaust so they could steal Palestine. I mean, you really got to look at what's going on here. The whole situation in Europe after World War I and the creation of World War II is all part of the Zionist agenda, and you can trace it, you can find the paper trail, and you can prove it. So people need to wake up to what's going on here, you know.
Yeah, and even if you look back to 1905, I think it was, Theodore Herzl said that we need to encourage anti-Semitism as an answer to the Jewish question, and in turn create the state of Israel one day.
Anti-Semitism is a Zionist creation by Theodore Herzl, absolutely.
Yeah,
It's a crazy thing. I watched a video that somebody was asking the Israeli people why they like to keep the Palestinians like this. And this special kind of stupid woman, she says, well, we got Israel because of the Holocaust. Now, I mean, you are kidding me, because of the Holocaust. Where does that idea come from?
It's incredible. What did the Holocaust have to do with the Palestinians? You know?
Exactly, nothing.
I mean, these were a bunch of people who were persecuted. Yeah, they had a terrible time in Europe and they needed somewhere to live. So they went down and stole someone else's country and persecuted the people who lived there and have killed. Eventually, more people are displaced in Palestine than ever was displaced in any Holocaust. I mean, you displaced an entire nation here. There are 7 million refugees out of Palestine now. Oh, there were never any Palestinians. Well, where did all these 7 million refugees come from? And the Israelis say, oh, they were just Arabs hanging around this country. Just Arabs hanging around the country, were they? What country? Palestine, right? But they weren't Palestinians, right? Okay, how does that work out? You know, and what's this right of return anyway? What right is that? Right of return, is that true? We got a right of return, have we? Well, look, great. Looks like everybody in Australia can now return to England and we can reclaim England. Isn't it great that the American Indians can now reclaim America back from America? I mean, what is this right of return? It's a bunch of rubbish. It's a bunch of rubbish. People lived there and got on fine for thousands of years until Zionism got involved and decided they would steal a country and create an illegitimate state that should not be there. That's the problem, you know. And now they're throwing the Palestinians scraps from the tables and complaining that they won't accept their terms. Oh, we're offering them peace terms, but they won't accept it. We've just stolen 97% of their country and we're giving them this little mud pile on the side and throwing them scraps, and they won't accept it. What's wrong with these people, you know? I mean, you know, you've got to put things in perspective and look at all of this, you know.
But Max, there doesn't seem to be any end to this because we're seeing troops massing on the border. There's been rumours of upwards of 40,000 reservists called up. We're going to see a ground invasion here. What can we do? What can us, the people, do in our respective countries to try and show our protest to this? Because thousands take to the streets and nothing's actually happening.
Yeah, I know. I think we've got to not just take to the streets. We've got to pull our governments out of office. We've got to really hold these people accountable. We've got to charge our governments with war crimes. Don't just protest. Charge your government with war crimes. Openly accuse your government of war crimes and get it on the media. Make us enough noise to get it on the media. These people are war criminals and we have to stop. We have to take them out of office and we have to stop this genocide happening right now. We have the power to do it. We've got to dismiss our governments. Every single country that is supporting Israel is being controlled by a terrorist government, and that's my opinion. Australia, this is a terrorist government because it supports terrorism in Israel. Anybody who is financing the terrorism that Israel is meting out and the genocide and ethnic cleansing that Israel is meting out to the Palestinian peoples is a terrorist, criminal government and needs to be removed right now by its people. And the only people who are going to do it is us. We've got to stand up and say enough is enough. If you're supporting Israel, you've got to step down. You've breached your right to rule. You have abdicated your right to govern. We don't want you here anymore and we want you to go. That's what we have to say. There should be a global uprising over this issue. There really should. That's the way to deal with it, mate. Kick these criminals out of office once and for all.
Yeah, over here in the UK, we've got the party called the UKIP, and they're on the rise now. They've had 5 million voters so far. in the local elections. And basically, they're friends of Israel, and they actually documented that they would, agree to whatever it takes, to secure the state of Israel. And people are falling for this, Max. I mean, you only have to look at the Zionist lobbies here in the UK that are never talked about, but they've got strong ties, all these agendas and stuff all tie in. And I think it's about time the people stood up, and actually went to the local MPs, in the local towns and stuff, and say, what's going on here, and just, we're sick of it,
Yeah, and stop being politically correct. So we think you might be doing the wrong thing. No, you're a criminal. You're a terrorist. You're supporting ethnic cleansing. Fuck off. Go. We don't want you here anymore. That's it. If you don't go, we'll get the police to arrest you because you're a terrorist. Yeah, we can prove it. See the bombing that's happening in Gaza Strip? You're supplying weapons to these people. Therefore, you're complicit in genocide. That's it. Enough said. Case proven. Fuck off. That's the attitude you got to have to your government. Sorry, but that's the attitude you got to have.
No, don't
Screw
say
these
sorry,
people.
Max, because if anyone's offended by Max's language, I want to urge you to get your priorities straight. Look at what is going on over in Palestine right now. No wonder we're angry here. This is serious stuff now. Jono, you're listening to this. What an awesome, powerful show, but what have you got to add to this right now? Sorry, I cut in on your turn there, Jono.
No, that's fine, Kev. No, it's just, I think Max is right. We have to do something to our own MPs. We need to be in their face, and we need to be in their face with cameras, asking them questions and hear what they say. But most of the time, it'll be what they don't say that'll be heard loudest. So I think we should be getting into our MPs with cameras in their face and asking them, why are you so blatantly supporting Israel? What is it that you get from Israel?
But Max, I mean, John's talking there about getting in our politicians' faces. Last night we done a show and I called it the HMS Pedo Parliament, because basically that's what we're seeing right now. We're being run by psychopathic paedophiles, and what hope do we have actually approaching them to change any of this anyway?
Well, we don't. That's the thing. That's why we've got to dismiss them. We've got to change the mindset of the population by being brutally honest in the face of the population. Go to these politicians and be brutally honest and accuse these people of the crimes that they are committing, and don't be politically correct. Just call them out. Call them out. You'll find that you'll have people in your population that will listen and will agree with you. There may be vast majority won't, but there will be people who will, and eventually the penny will drop. If you're polite, if you're eloquent, and you're steadfast in what you say, and don't say, why are you supporting Israel? Say, why are you supporting Israel's ethnic cleansing of the Palestinian people? Because that's what's happening. It's the Israeli government's ethnic cleansing of the Palestinian people. And use the word ethnic cleansing. Use the word genocide. You're not just supporting Israel. You're supporting Israeli genocide and ethnic cleansing against the indigenous inhabitants of the country they stole. Why are you supporting this? That's the way you need to ask them. Don't be politically correct with these people. Call them out and name things for what they are. Call a spade, and see if these people will back themselves into a corner. And do it as publicly as possible,
Yeah, I think America gives $3 billion in aid to Israel.
$7 million a day.
Yeah, but they won't actually give Palestinians a bottle of water.
No, $7 million a day, I believe. It's absolutely disgusting. Absolutely.
It really makes me sick, honestly. It really does. It makes me sick to find it. This is 2014, people. This should not be happening anywhere in the world, not just Gaza. Children being killed. Photos on the internet of kids after too at 6-year-old. Seriously, come on, we need to get a grip here. We need to do something.
Well, we do, and you got to understand, like, over half the people that have been killed in this conflict are women and children. Over half the people, and then the excuse they use is, there was a terrorist nearby. I got a friend over there, Omar, and he said, I was visiting my friend the other day, just 5 hours ago, and a missile hit his car 5 hours after I saw him. And now he looks like a hamburger. We were pouring him into a bag to bury him. Guy driving down the Esplanade. Missile hits his car, just obliterates the car. He's right, it's a terrorist. He didn't know it was a terrorist, just a guy driving down the road. He was a friend of mine, He wasn't a terrorist, but that's all Israel has to say. It was a terrorist. They just blow up anybody they want and say, oh, I was a terrorist. Of course it was a terrorist. It was behind the wall in Gaza. They're all terrorists. Just ask the media. You know, this is the way it's promoted. You know, it's absurd, mate, and it's got to stop. And yeah, I am really angry over this. I'm sick of seeing people blown up. I'm sick of wars. All the wars on this planet are a result of government. I don't know anybody who wants war. I've never met a Palestinian, an Israeli, a Mexican or a German or anybody in any country who wants war. Nobody wants war. The only people who want war are governments and bankers. So let's get rid of these two institutions and the world would be fine. Do not take a backward step to your government. Do not do anything your government says. If your government is supporting Israel, withhold your taxes. Say you will not pay tax to a government that is supporting terrorism. And call them out. Just call them out, folks. Stand up and call them out for what they are. You know, the buck's got to stop here. We've got to change the world. And the only way we're going to do it is if we participate. And it's got to be us. We have the power to do it. There's 7 billion of us. There's a few thousand of these cretins running the world, and there's 7 billion of us. So we can change things. Don't think we can't. But you've got to be prepared to stand up, speak your truth, and stand your ground.
Well said, Max. And I'd just like to thank you personally for coming on the show tonight. Absolutely amazing information. And again, like Kev said, you know, it's a shame it's on these terms with all this horrible stuff going on. But it is an absolute pleasure to have you with us tonight.
Yeah, well, very passionate. I mean, very passionate. I'm not usually this outspoken. I don't usually swear. I don't usually get that angry, but I've had it. I've really had it with these people, and I'm just going to call them out from now on. I'm not going to be politically correct. I'm not going to be polite. I'm just going to call people what they are. I'm going to call a spade from now on. The gloves have to come off. This has really been a rude awakening for me, this whole current conflict. I mean, I've been very calm and very polite on the radio for the last 6-7 years, and I think I've done a good thing doing so. And I will still try to remain as calm and polite as I can, but I am not going to take a backward step. I'm not going to be nice and politically correct. I'm going to call a spade, and I'm going to put it in the face of every politician I can. And I'll repeat it, that all you politicians out there, all you politicians in the Western world, you're all a bunch of criminals. And if you think I'm guilty of slander for saying that, then come and arrest me. Come and charge me. Come and debate me on TV. Come on, come and get me. Let's do this publicly so I can wake the world up to the fact that you're a bunch of criminal scumbags, because that's what you are. And I'm not going to shut up. I'm going to keep going until you all go down. That's my purpose in life from this point on.
Well, I'd just like to thank you as well for coming on, Max. It's been absolutely fantastic. And you've made me get up off my backside and actually, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go to MPs and I'm going to film them and I'm going to ask them questions about Israel, Gaza, just to see what their answers are.
Yeah.
And I'll be putting that on YouTube. So thanks very much.
Max, I want to thank you as well. It's been an absolutely epic first visit to the Kev Baker show. I really hope you come back again, Max, in better circumstances and we can talk about the bigger picture of what's going on this planet right now. But I share your passion. I share your anger. I hope to God something changes over there. I fear it won't for the immediate future, but I just thank you for coming on here and speaking the hard truths. People will call us anti-Semites. I don't care. That's a fallacy. People will say this is controversial. No, it's truth. But Max, thank you for sharing our passion for the Palestinian plight at this time.
My pleasure, brother. My pleasure. Look, I'm not anti-Semitic at all. I have a Jewish friend actually staying here at my house at the moment with his wife. I'm not anti-Semitic, but I'm anti-racism. I'm anti-genocide. I'm anti-apartheid. I'm anti-land theft. I'm anti-murder. I'm anti the blowing up of children. I'm anti-home destruction. I'm anti-terrorism, and therefore I'm anti-Israeli government. And the Israeli government, I would suggest, is also anti-Semitic. It is the most anti-Semitic organization on the planet, and people need to wake up to that. But thanks for having me on.
No, Max, anytime, wherever you are, folks, spare a thought, send some energy over to the people in Palestine tonight. And wherever you are, remember, keep it TFR. We're all Palestine, we're all humans, folks.
Free Palestine.
Max, I've no words, Max. I absolutely echo everything you said on there. And thank you so much.
My pleasure, guys. My pleasure. You're pretty, just can't keep the emotions under control these days.
Honestly, it's
I'm not surprised it's hard to control, Max, because what we're seeing out of there is just disgusting. Honestly, really, it's probably the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life.
Me too.
Looking at kids. Honestly, there was 2 kids lying on a road They were Hafton too. Hafton too.
Yeah.
These are terrorists. Oh, it
I
just
know.
makes me fucking spew,
They are. They're
honestly.
fucking terrorists, mate. You ought to see what they do to the people when they go in there. Man, they went into the Samuni house. They went up to Zinad Samuni's house, right? They hoarded the whole lot into the back room of the house. They said, everybody sit down around the walls. And they all sat down. There was Zinad and Ahmed, her husband, and there was 6 of the kids. She's got, no, 7 of the kids. She had 8 kids. One of the kids, little Ahmed, was up at the shop, which is their shop, which is just down the road. And he's 2. He was being looked after by his uncle. And she was in the house with her husband, Ahmed, and 8 of the kids, or 7 of the kids. And the Israelis walked in there and said, everybody sit down. So they all sat down, and he said, who's the head of the house? And the father stood up, so they shot him straight away in front of the kids. And then they got everybody up, and they ordered him into the back room of the house, and they made them all sit around the walls of the house, around the walls of the room, and they brought all the furniture from the rest of the house, they brought it into the room and smashed the shit out of it in the middle of the room in front of them, built a bonfire in the room, and made them sit there in the room with this bonfire going while they stood outside and shot with machine guns through the window just over their heads where they were sitting. So the walls were being peppered with machine gun fire. They've been covered in plaster while they're sitting in a room with this enormous bonfire burning. The room was so full of smoke that their little baby was choking, and it wasn't until the smoke was about 2 inches off the ground that they would let the family out of the room. When Zinad said, can I bring my dead husband with me and bury him? They said, no, you got to leave him there. And they hoarded all the children into the house across the road and said to Zinad, no, you can't go in there with your children. You got to go up the road and go up and stay with your relatives. So she went up to stay with her relatives. She wasn't allowed to go in with the children. There's a tank parked in the street. It's following her with a turret, just pointing the turret at her. Wherever she walked, she's thinking this thing's going to fucking blow me up. Just to terrorize her. She goes up to the house they told her to go in. She finds her relatives there. They've all been shot in the head. So she goes to the shop to find her little son to see if he's okay. He's been shot twice in the chest and once in the head, but he's still alive. She picks him up, tries to comfort him, take him to an ambulance. There's bombs and guns going off. Every time a gunshot goes off, he tenses up and blood pours out of his body. It took him a day and a half to fucking die. She's trying to find an ambulance. They're blowing up ambulances as she's walking to them. She gets back to the house and they've hit the fucking house with 2 rockets or 3 rockets. There's her 97 family members in this fucking building. They won't let her in. They leave these people in the rubble for 4 days. They stand on the roof of the buildings and shoot anybody who tries to come out. This is fucking Israeli freedom for the Palestinian people. You know? That's what they did. That's one family. That's one family. And that's just one. There are fucking thousands of families that they do this to. That's the way Israelis treat Palestinians when they go and free them from Hamas. You know? Gets my fucking blood boil, mate.
Oh.
You should hear when she's telling me this story. I'm just crying my eyes out. These people, man. These are beautiful people, and they are being brutalized by this fucking terrorist government, mate. Like, you wouldn't believe, man, the shit that these people go through. This shelter with these 15 fucking kids living in this shelter that is rags hanging over a fucking wire, you know? Like, fuck, you know? What's wrong with this fucking world, you know?
Yeah, I know, mate. Oh.
Fucking talk, man. Oh.
Yeah, anyway.
Just,
now you know why I have this emotion. I've met these people. I've sat and talked to this woman. I've heard her story. I've seen the tears on her face. I've met her little daughter with the shrapnel stuck behind her left eye. She can't see out of her left eye. She can't be in bright light. She can't go to school. She's a beautiful 14-year-old girl. They can't operate on her because it's trapped in the fucking cornea behind her left eye. If they pull it out, they'll probably destroy her. They'll probably kill her. You know? Fuck, you know?
Fuck, man.
I'd like to raise enough money to get her to a hospital in the West so they could pull this shrapnel out from behind her eyes. But they can't do it. They can't get it out. Like I've spoken to doctors, all sorts of stuff, but they can't get this shrapnel out from behind her eye. You know? Like, what do you do, man? What do you do? All you can do is try to wake the world up to what's fucking going on over there, man. It's just fucking horrendous. It's fucking horrendous, man. And these are people, and they're beautiful people. You know?
Oh, mate.
You alright,
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
What a show, man. I think
That was a great show.
I think all 4 of us are probably broken down right now.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry, Max. Jesus, man. No,
That's
no,
the
no,
reality of the situation. That's the reality of the situation over there, you know? Fucking hell, man.
I feel you there, you know, I really do. It makes me really angry, really, really angry. And then obviously it turns to tears, you know, and you sit and really think about it and you're seeing these dead children, half heads missing and distraught parents. That's what really pushes me, you know, to talk about these issues and stuff. I can't take it being you have to say something to somebody about it, you know.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it, mate.
The thing is, you know, you've seen it firsthand, Max. Do you know what I mean? We couldn't even comprehend half of the things that go on in there. You've seen it though, and crime, mate, it just shows that you're a normal man. You've got a heart of gold. You just want peace for these people. But as you say, when you see young kids like that, do you know what I mean? Taking a day and a half to die, that's just fucking disgraceful. It really is.
It's point blank range, twice in the chest, once in the head. You know. Yeah.
Honestly, I can't comprehend that. Not in this day and age. I keep telling myself, this is 2014, it's a fucking joke. It is an absolute joke. I'm sick of fucking what's coming out of Palestine. And honestly, I'm really, big time, I'm really going to get disgrace. It really is.
Yeah, it is, mate.
All right, Chris, man. Nice to finally see you, mate.
Nice to see y'all, man. That was an amazing show. I mean, this is a really emotional situation. And, I mean, I agree with you guys completely. Like, I told Max the other day off air, I was like, dude, if I could do one thing and sacrifice myself and stop all this shit, I would do it in a heartbeat. I mean, like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it because, I mean, there's just too many people over there suffering. And, you know, I talk to these Christian people here in the United States. They just cannot see what's going on. They say, well, they would do the same to Israel if Israel, you know, if the situation was reversed. And it's like, no, these people are not the terrorists that the mainstream media here is painting them out to be. You know, and this whole bullshit that Max has been talking about for, you know, every show that he's been on about them showing pictures of Palestine blown up and saying that it's coming out of Israel, that it's happening in Israel. I mean, that's the lowest. I mean, that has sunk into whole new levels of fucked up.
Yeah.
You see that picture I just sent you?
Yeah.
That's Ahmed Samuni. That's Zenad's 2-year-old boy. See those two shots in his chest? How close they are? No spray. Yeah. That gun was right against his chest.
Okay, you look cute.
Oh, God, man.
Oh, look, and there's a picture I took down there as well, the little boy with the scarred face. But yeah, Ahmed, I've met his mother. I've met his whole family. These are beautiful people, man. These are very, very beautiful people, you know. And yeah, that this picture here, this is that building that you can see on the left halfway through. This is what the Samuni land looked like after Cast Lead. The building that you can see on the left halfway through is where we built the schoolroom.
God.
That was the Samuni land after Israel had freed them from Hamas, right? You know, this was a residential area. So, you know.
Are people that fucking stupid that when they see these, the aftermath of these fucking attacks, it's toys, it's children's toys that you see strewn across. You don't see anything that's from a fucking terrorist.
There's my friend Zenad. That's who told me the story of her son and what happened. That's the lady whose son that was. I've met Zenad. I've had dinner with her. I've spoken to her. Yeah, these are all my friends, you know.
That's fucked up. I mean, I even heard the mainstream media saying, well, they're just bombing strategic Hamas targets. Mm-hmm. And then you've got
They bombed a special school, man.
Yeah.
And then
They're not bombing any strategic targets. They're bombing civilians is all they're bombing. That's all they're bombing is civilians. There are no strategic targets in Palestine. There's just civilians and freedom fighters, you know.
They bombed a hospital if I remember
They bombed
correctly.
a hospital, they bombed a special needs center, they bombed 2 cemeteries, they bombed family cafes, they bombed everything they fucking could. They bombed schools, they bombed churches, they bombed mosques, they bombed the hospital, they bombed everything. They bombed the cabs, they bombed the ambulances, they bombed the news teams. They tell people to leave their homes and they shoot them in the street, you know. They say, leave your home now, then they bring in a warplane and they fucking strafe the street, you know. And people just fucking believe this bullshit that the media is telling them. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. You know.
Hey Max, I'm going to drop you my contact at Russia Today. I think you should reach out to him and see about setting up an interview, because I know they've been talking about things from this angle, and they've been shining a lot of light on what's been going on.
Yeah.
Abby Martin's been given it. She's been given it yeehaw just now.
I don't know
Which is good
why
to see.
people can't be speaking out about this just now. I just don't understand it.
Yeah, it blows my mind, guys. It absolutely blows my mind, the human race. So I see this and I think, why do I bother? Why do I even do my shows? Why do I even care about these people? If they're going to let this happen, you know. But then there's people like you. There's good people. There's so many good people in the world. I realize I have a son. I've got to try to do something, you know. But yeah, this cannot be borne. This cannot be borne anymore. We've got to do something. We can't be politically correct. We've got to stand up and call these fucking criminals out and say enough is enough. Fix it or fuck off. It's as simple as that. You're a criminal. I'm calling you out. You're a criminal. Do you support Israel? Right, you're a criminal. You support genocide. Fuck off. Simple as that. You know? I don't care what you say. I don't care what your media says. I don't care what your government says. I don't care what your fucked up legal system says. You're a fucking criminal. Fuck off. I'm not your slave. Neither of these
simple
people.
As that.
It really is. It's time we stood up and said enough is enough, guys. We can't allow this to continue. You know.
Chris, man, I dragged you in to thank you for giving us a chance to do this show tonight, because that needed to get out there, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, it's an honor to be able to create a platform that gets this kind of message out, because the mainstream media here in the United States is so fucked up. You know, I mean, even a lot of outlets, they don't want to touch this stuff. I mean, I don't really hear people talking about this very much. You don't hear Alex Jones talking about it. You know, you don't hear Glenn Beck talking about it. So, yeah.
That's why we appreciate it, mate, and it's nice to let you know, do you know what I mean? Because there's never any censoring, man. We love it. Brilliant. Thanks a lot, mate.
Nice.
And that's something that I've noticed with the alternative media. It's really shed light on who's in it for truth or not, because, like Chris says, there's a lot of people that aren't talking about it. So
Yeah,
and
I've
even heard some alternative media, or how would you say, guys on YouTube supporting the stuff that Israel's putting out and basically condemning everyone in Palestine for Hamas's actions. And, you know, it's crazy. But thank God we've got TFR.
And Max Igan.
And we're growing, man. I mean, we're growing big time. So I'm hoping we can reach a level to where we're reaching mainstream media numbers, you know, where we can get, you know, because those are the people that need to hear it. Because I think it was Max, actually, who said it the other day. He says, you know, I'm on a Christian station right now, and those are the people that really need to hear the message. The truth stations, we're kind of preaching to the choir. And that's why I'm trying to, like, sculpt things to take a more kind of mainstream audience, because those are the people that need to hear this kind of stuff the most.
Yeah, that station that I'm on is an actual radio station in Kansas. It goes out to the Bible Belt, you know, so that's who needs it, you know. That's why I've stayed with that station for so long. I've been with them for 6 years, and that's why I've stuck with them, because of where they locate and the fact that it is an actual station. You can tune in on your radio and listen to it in the car, and it goes right out across the American Midwest, you know.
How do they feel about you talking to
She's
me?
shy. She's shy because she's in a robe.
Yeah.
How do they
it's
feel
just
about me
brilliant
talking
to
about
find
this sort of
out
stuff?
TV.
Oh, most of the announcers on the station hate me. They think I'm a Satanist because I'm not a Christian. The guy who runs the station loves me. He says I'm more like Jesus than anyone he's ever come across. He's a Christian too. So he gives me a full open platform to say and do what I want to do. He's a great guy, and I really respect him, and that's why I've stuck with him for so long. And I've rejected all offers to go to other networks, and I've had many. But I've just stayed with this little station in Kansas and sent my shows to Frank, because he's just looked after me, and he's given me this great platform. And I only ever got on the air because of Frank. You know, I only do what I do because of Frank. You wouldn't know me if it wasn't for Frank. So I've stuck with him. You know.
That's good.
Very nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, listen, guys, I'm going to shoot off, right? But thanks a lot, Chris and Max. Absolutely epic. I hope we can have you on again, but better circumstances.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Anytime. Like I said, by the end of next year, I'm gonna go do this European tour. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna finish the film, and I hope that by the end of 2015, I will be living in Gaza Strip. So I will hopefully be able to do shows for you and do interviews and stuff from Gaza Strip by the end of next year. I'm going to try to get in there before the end of this year anyway. I'm going to try to spend
Stay safe, man. Stay safe. We need you.
Yeah, I'm going to do everything I can to talk you out of it, but we'll support you any way we can. So.
Well, I'm going to try to get in there this year, but if I can't, then I'm definitely going to get in there by the end of next year, and I will stay there for hopefully at least a year, maybe longer. So.
Wow.
But a pleasure, guys. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I'm very emotional, and I hope people deal with it. But the gloves have got to come off. I'm not going to be politically correct anymore. Fuck these people.
Right.
I might post all this up on YouTube. I might even include all this after show banter on the YouTube clips.
You're more than welcome to, man. There's nothing been said that I'm not wanting to put out. Cherie, it's brilliant to see you finally. Honestly, so. Listening to you for so long, it's unbelievable. Brilliant.
I'm still recovering from getting back from the trip, but I'm feeling pretty good.
It's nice to see you two back together. Keep him in line.
Yeah.
She dislocated her shoulder on the trip.
Oh.
Yeah.
But this tape to hold it in, and hopefully she's going to get it treated in a couple days.
Yeah.
Are you beating her up again, Chris? Jesus, mate.
Yeah, I know.
The bear coming out in a car.
I was in Texas when it happened, so he's off the hook.
No, okay. I'll think of the next one now. I'll get you next.
Thanks a lot, guys. Max,
just
I
great to
appreciate
have
you
you,
so
mate.
much. Thank you.
See you
Love
guys.
you guys.
Cherie,